What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka Toe Tag and Tambo, back for another edition of the PGA Showdown show. This time we're headed into round 3. Just had the cut, kind of. We didn't really get the full cut. There's one guy, Andrew Kozan, who's out on the 18th. He's not gonna be able to play his shot till tomorrow. He is straddling the cut line, wants to make sure he makes it through. So if you have your round 2 Showdown monies and you're waiting for those to pay out, you might be waiting a while because it's not gonna be done until the morning, but pricing is out for round 3. Tournaments are ready over on Draftkings, and I got my guy here, Big T, to talk through it all. We've been doing these shows the last couple of weeks. I think people are liking them so far. We're going to stick with them. Tomorrow, we've got the round 4 premium show over on Run Pure Sports. So if you guys haven't signed up for that yet, definitely get over there. While you're here, we're still looking to get to 8,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button. Big T, I know on Twitter you're doing a giveaway. Talk to people a little bit about that, and then how you doing, man? How was this cut sweat for you today?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a busy day with basketball back, some college hoops tonight, but fun cut sweat always. Freaking Harmon let me down in my core. I think all of my key guys made it through the cut. Even Louis, who we trashed a little bit yesterday, came back, made the cut. So all my key guys made it except for Harmon, missing a couple freaking 6-footers on 17 and 18 if he makes freaking one of them. And then, so the difference between me, I get those 2 misses, and then people 26% own Billy Ho. Battles, makes birdie on 17. Or I don't remember if he played the front or the back first, but his 17th hole makes a birdie and makes the cut, 26%. So it's a big swing for me, but I still got some good teams. We got our boy Hoop up in first place of the main tournament. Tambo's got some good teams. Everybody's got some good teams up there. So it should be another good week of golf for us. And yeah, the promotion I did, I sent a tweet about all this new gear, tons of stuff, and we're going to put more stuff up soon, but we got a ton. Super simple promotion too. I'm going to give out 4 pieces of gear. Where's the exact tweet?
So the reason I'm laughing, not to cut you off, because you said super simple, but I know you got like 6 things that you need us to have happen. Oh, super simple.
Well, it's one for each though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so the key is, and people, so my account was almost already at 25K. I was at 24,900 or something. So that's basically a freebie. Yeah, I'm sure most of the people already follow me, but if not, once I get 25K on my account, which I think I only need like 50 or something, that's just a free piece of gear for someone. And then on the Run Pure account, 15K. That one's the hardest of all, 15K. Yeah. So that'll be the 4th one, even though it says number 2. Follow the Run Pure Bets page. That's another easy one. We only need like another 100 follows on the Run Pure Bets page. And then the YouTube page is the 4th one, where we're already close to the 8,000 subscribers there. So really 3 of them are super easy to get. The 4th one, maybe I should have just gone 14K or something, but whatever. 15K for that. Basically, just like all our pages. Follow Tambo too on Twitter. Follow all of our people on there. But just to give some gear away. It should be fun.
Yeah, get me to 25K and I'll give away 25 hoodies. If you want to do that. We only need like 10,000 or 12, 13,000 more. But no, I love it. I love the gear. I love all the action we got going on. I'm glad you brought that up. The cut line for some, I know you mentioned it, but you mentioned just one guy that hurt you. I know for others, though, we had Aaron Wise, people played, Ryan Armour. Go back down the list. The big dogs, Neiman, Fleetwood, Sungjae, none of those guys could figure it out and battle their way through it. So happy to have some good teams. It's kind of like last week where I had the best non-Neiman. I've got some better 5 out of 6 teams. I just don't have any good 6 out of 6. All these guys were extremely, tough to get through down the stretch. Taylor Moore had a really bad day. He hurt me quite a bit. He wasn't really doing anything going into it, but a tough day there. Saw some good teams. Saw a lot of the RPS logos up at the top, which is awesome. So we'll get into it. We're going to talk about round 3 here. We're going to go through the pricing is still out, like I said. So while you may be waiting for your round 2 monies, I think it's still a good time to get into it. That's why we want to hop on, go through it like we always do, sort of a first look, but at the same time, drill down to what we're going to be doing for the slate. And then, we'll have all the stuff over at Run Pure Sports. Snyder with the playbook, like always, absolutely incredible. Always got the numbers in there, the breakdowns, the write-ups, everything. And then Hoop, AP, Uncle T, they add their cores. Myself and Big T are in the Discord. Everybody else is there too, but we put our stuff in the Discord in the morning and we're there usually right up till lock. Florida swing. Big T, I know is that you're still there, but it's a little bit earlier in the morning for you. For me, try and be in the mix because the time zone difference. But Let's get into it here and talk about some of these guys at the top, right? So we'll get into pricing like Berger down to, it's just Berger and Horschel in the 10K range. But just looking at some of the guys today, I got the stats up here. Like Hubbard went off. Berger is going to be a talking piece. We'll just save him, get to him in a second. But Louis bounced back. You mentioned it yesterday on yesterday's Showdown show. I was with you on this, actually. Louis, when he's out of it, usually is gone. And I thought that was going to be the case. And usually Sungjae is the guy that grinds and finds his way. And at this tournament had such a great history. That's what you kind of expected. We got the opposite. Louis started out slow, but then just went off on his back nine. I think it was 5 under, bogey free for him. So that, for that back nine, that ended up propelling him up to, I believe, even. And now he's right back into the mix. So great day for him. Hoops boy, Nick Taylor, had an awesome day. The Canadian kid, he finished T50. He's still T53, but he's in the mix with a 5 under day. Your boy, you always talk about Chase Seifert is there. And then the one, these are the two we got to talk about. But Shane Lowry, you loved him coming into the tournament, just doing his thing. The crazy part is right now, and it ties into the other guy I want to talk about, Daniel Berger, because he's the top price guy. We're going there in a second, is that Berger is he's the odds-on favorite to win this tournament with 2 full days to go. I think he's like minus 120 to win. And we're not talking matchups here or anything like that. We're talking to win the whole tournament. And it's because if you look at the board and you go to it, it's like, yes, Chris Kirk is there 3 strokes back, but then it's a different guy. Kurt Kitayama, Hubbard, Svensson, Straka, workbench play of the week. Shout out AP. Incredible call there. He had a huge day going 6 under. But yeah, the names aren't the best. But you and I were looking pre-show, and Lowry can't get a great number on him. It's 25-1, but man, he looks like, I know he's 7 strokes back, but if Berger was to somehow fall apart tomorrow, I think Lowry could do some damage. Maybe others will think the same. But what do you think about Lowry, your boy, and then Berger being at the top as the odds-on? Because he's the first guy we're going to talk about in the pricing.
Yeah, I mean, I always love the Saturday Showdown. Well, I like Sunday too because of the strategy piece. But as far as like normal Showdown between Thursday, Friday, Saturday's definitely my favorite because you get past the cut line. The cut line's always a little tough on Friday because a lot of people, when you're around that cut line, you are not throwing at pins. You're just not. So it makes it a little bit tougher. And yeah, just to take the L from yesterday. I mean, I played Louis on the week long. Faded Sungjae if you watched the show. And then I flip-flopped yesterday. Came back with Sungjae. I thought he would grind, and I thought Louis would tank, and I was completely wrong. It went the opposite. Sungjae just didn't play good. Louis crushed. Louis got hot. And, yeah, I was just wrong. So it was good for my week-long because Louis, I think I got him 35%, and I got Berger like 60%. So it worked out very good for me as far as at the top. But Showdown, not so much. And I freaking played Patrick Reed. I mean, you got to learn a lesson, Tony. Like, that's just awful.
He hurt me actually too. He hurt me on that one lineup I made. I tweeted it out when I was on with Mayo on Wednesday. I said I'll just play all like the talent guys. Yeah. Remember I told you it's like
they all did good too, except
everybody. Lee Westwood, Ricky even made the cut. Brooks, they're all there. I know it was barely for some of them, but
it doesn't matter. They're in exactly.
Yeah, 5 out of 6, and Reed just completely.
You take Berger out of this too. Just say we both think Berger will probably win this. We like Berger, but say somehow he does struggle and come back a little bit to where he finishes, just say he finishes 6 under or something. Everybody is in play all of a sudden if that happens. If he finishes 10 under, even where he just plays even, he'll probably still win with the weekend as hard as it's going to be. I'd be stunned if we see multiple people double digits when it's all said and done. So I think that just say all that leading into the round 3 Showdown, which I love, I don't ever play Berger in this spot, and I know he'll be very high owned. He's 10 under. He's got a 3-shot lead, a bunch of no names behind him for the most part. Obviously, some of these guys are decent. Not on the same level as Berger, though. And with how hard the course is going to be, like, he knows he just needs pars. Showdown is all about birdies and just making numbers. He's going to try to make pars all day long for the next 2 days. I think he's a very easy fade. And you know how Showdown goes, Tambo. Like, everyone loves the dudes that are playing good, and they don't care that they're not going to, like, throw at pins and stuff. Yeah. Last week, Neiman did play pretty good, but he still wasn't even in the winner in a lot of stuff as it went. And I think Berger is an even better fade because people are going to love Berger tomorrow. And I just don't see it. He's got a 3-shot lead on the next dude. Why in the world would he be out there trying to make birdies?
Yeah, I mean, it's his job, and that's one thing I'm with you 100%. I think, you're saying for me is what we loved about Neiman, the Neiman fade last Sunday, and it will be the same. If Berger comes out and shoots 4 under tomorrow, it's going to be a big lead, I think, at that point. And like you said, it's not like he's not. What you're trying to say is what I'm trying to frame up for the people is that he's not going to not try and make birdies. That's his job. Go out there, make birdies, win the tournament. But he doesn't need to be as aggressive. He needs to sort of just make sure that he puts himself in a position on Sunday to get the job done.
You have a huge advantage on this course just to throw it in the middle of the green and not try to throw it at pins. And if he's just trying to hit middle of the greens, he's just not going to score that much.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I think it's a definite possibility to fade him tomorrow. I don't mind it because I think this reminds me back to like the AT&T Pro-Am where he won it a couple years ago. It was a little bit of a battle. Mav McNeely was up there, I should say, but it was the same thing I talked about at that time, and the same thing. Hoop mentioned it in our Discord, and I confirmed it all week as soon as we were getting the Pro-Am report and the actual one that came out that said he was healthy. It's not some secret that we found it. He was 20% owned in Classic. The point was more is if he's healthy, this was Hoop's line, and I loved it, was he's the best play on the slate. And we thought that. I said it on the Wednesday show. If you guys were with us over at Rumpier Sports, I said he's winning. I don't care. I know he's one of the favorites, but I said he's healthy. He's good. I had him in my core for Maine. I've got a bunch of Berger this week, and I thought that was the situation. When he plays in these weaker fields, which he normally doesn't, him, Adam Scott, Casey, some of these other guys that people rag on for only getting 30th. I say this all the time, but we've got new viewers. It's totally different. They're now playing in fields that they can just crush. And where, like you just said, Big T, where they can just show up and do their job, basics, and it ends up in a 3-stroke lead already against a field that you got a hard time thinking of those next 7 names. Even Chris Kirk is in the mix, still 3 back. But like beyond that, down to Lowry at 3 under, you've got a hard time thinking any of those guys go 2 full days of keeping up with Berger's talent level and just standard ability. I like the Berger fade if you want to do it tomorrow, because like you said, he may play a little bit more conservative just to make sure he's good enough going into Sunday and then try and get the job done there. So I like that. Also wanted to look at weather. Someone brought it up. I think that's a good point. Let's bring it in here to Saturday. Not much. I mean, from the wind gusts up to only 10 till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it only gets up to 13, 14. So not doing that again, but I wanted to ask you, Big T, because you guys talked a little bit about it yesterday. Snyder always talks about it. I love it personally, is just getting these guys going out, first thing right out of the gate, and not necessarily like today you had a full afternoon wave, but tomorrow you could still get the guys going out very first thing. I don't know if we have exact tee times yet. I'll look that up as we talk, but what were your thoughts on strategy from that? Because I'm not really trying to play this wind tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much exactly how we talked about it yesterday, where I'm not going to put too much into it, but I always do. If I can choose, I'm always going to choose the morning just because it just feels like in the afternoon, the wind picks up more times than not. The spike marks in the green, the divots in the fairway, just a lot of little stuff can add up for the afternoon guys, including pressure, because the leaders will be obviously more in the afternoon most of the times too. So for me, if it's a tiebreaker, I always choose morning guys. But I'm with you though. There doesn't look like there's.
And I like it so much better on Thursday and Friday where it actually matters. On Saturday, like you said, the leaders will go off late. Like it is. I want the guys playing good golf, so you'll just naturally end up on them anyway. So let's do it. Let's go through these tiers. If there's
I want to talk about one thing with the season long, not season long, week long, where we always talk about leverage. It's kind of been our strategy this year, just to show like how crazy it is. Like, so if you pull it up on the thing, Roto Grinders, like the results DB, you can kind of look at everybody's player pool.
Which tournament are you looking at?
I'm just looking at the big one just because the numbers and stuff. I just wanted to show how I think, and you agree, and all of us, like we want to get way overweight. Like, look at the edge I have to have in my 150 this weekend by going way overweight. I got 54% Berger to 20% in the field. That's my third highest leverage guy. Shane Lowry, who's in a great spot we just talked about, I got 57% and 45% leverage. And then Seifert right there, 30. Like, so by going way above the field, like you just get such leverage on these guys. You talked about it and Hoop talked about it with Berger. Like, he's in your core. No one else has him in their core. He's 20% owned because of the injury when he's clearly the best guy in the field. You go up and get like 50% Berger right now. Like right now, when I look at my winnings, I'm like even right now. I haven't looked at my team super close either. Not a ton of 6s, But when I got Berger 54%, Lowry 57%, Seifert 30%, those are 3 of my top 6 leverage guys. I just have to be in a pretty good spot this weekend because of how overweight I am on all 3 of those. Whereas say I didn't do this and we went with more of the other approach where you got 25% Berger and 13% Lowry. And I mean, Seifert's only 2% owned or something. So like 5% Seifert. It can even go back to the point a Big Rob made with me and you on that show where Seifert, it's almost exactly his point, right? Where if I played 10% Seifert to 2%, it'd be nice. Don't get me wrong. And Seifert might crumble anyways on the weekend.
Right.
But 2%, I got 30% Seifert. And if he somehow does good and finishes second, like 30% at 6,400, and he's paired with Berger, like again, and that's not. I got a Harmon up here too, and he obviously didn't.
I saw that. Yeah, Brian Parman and Jason Dustner.
Well, Duffner, I don't mind because he was cheap. But man, if Harmon makes one of those 2 putts, I have to be just like sitting just mint going into the weekend. But not to be results oriented. I wanted to show like how big of an edge you can get by doing what we've been saying, like go way overweight. And now this isn't showing even when I'm winning because I'm even as far as money. But I think without looking at anything, because I haven't looked yet, we came right on the show. You just have to be in position with this much Berger.
Yeah, and to make another point on that, and we'll move on just right quick, because I know like what people think out there, like what I said earlier, he still came in at 20%. Like, what do you think he was going to get to? 30? No, that's the whole point, though. That's why you get 50 or 60%. We don't care if he hits the ceiling of ownership on any given slate, which is probably 30, maybe 35 at some random tournament. It could happen. When you said it, Big T, like we knew he was the best play on the slate of this, people are out there thinking, yeah, well, it's not like he was sneaky. He came in at 20. Our point is, Big T's point especially, is even if, and with his numbers, prove it before you can even talk about results, are that had he have been 30, you were still at 54. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to
think about it right now, Tambo. You said it's starting. He's minus 120 to win the tournament.
Right.
Think of the edge. If I told, just obviously you can't do this, but we're trying to prove a point that it's not being results oriented. Like, what would he have been owned if I told you this was the spot? Like, if you could own him right now, knowing he's in this exact, he'd be what, 90% owned?
My thing is just that the ownership doesn't get to that. Let's the max it gets is like 30, and that's where people are like, well, it's whatever. But that's the whole point of the taking the stand, is because what so many people do out there is play max of 30 or 35% and then shimmy it down from there through 60 guys, and then wonder why they say like, oh, I had so much Berger, I had 30% of him, he was 25% or 20%, and I still didn't win money. It's like you didn't take stands on anybody really, and even on him, you only had a small stand versus the field. So I love the point being made. We've been sticking to it. Even myself, switching to a little bit more higher stakes, smaller field stuff, much more cored up. Have my guys set up that way. 10 to the 12 lineups are based around that. Maybe I throw 1 or 2 like I did with that. I called it the U.S. Open lineup. Shit, it's playing like a U.S. Open, but the leaderboard doesn't read like it, unfortunately, because I can't imagine a U.S. Open where Hubbard and some of these guys are all up there. But I liked some of those guys. For Cola in the chat asking about week long, it's about 10% or just under. So almost 90% are dead to that. But keep in mind, and I already said this to Big T earlier, it's something
it's
like
the
the
Berger factor too.
What's that?
I mean, how many of the 10% 6 of 6 have Berger is the question, right?
Yeah.
Because a 5 of 6 with Berger is better than all the 6 of 6.
Correct. There's where I was going with it, is that you look in the $20, someone will find hopefully it's Hoop. He's up there right now, sleeping on a 2-day lead, our boy. Hopefully he closes it out with that one. Who knows? Maybe he's got some others behind it that come up and take it out. But the point is, that's where, yes, we'll likely see a 6 of 6 shut it down. But there's a lot of good 5 out of 6 teams in that 555 that I saw today. And I know people will say, yeah, but I see this 6 out of 6 in 5th place. He's going to win it. No, it's not how it works. You'll see how
a lot of golf left at this course too.
Yeah, a lot of golf.
There's a lot of golf left.
All right, let's do this, though. Let's try and bang through this player pool. We got the pricing, Berger and Horschel. Let's do the whole 9K range and up, though, because you've got Im, Neiman, and Fleetwood all missed the cut. I know I'm saying that because on Draftkings app, it usually lets you shut it out. I didn't see it because they're still stuck with one guy in the fairway in round 2. So
it's kind of good for the edge too, right? Just a slight boost in edge.
Anything we can get, man. Anything we can get. I think we find the edge more, though, when guys play the losers, but we'll talk about that as we get throughout it. Berger, Horschel, Koepka, Louis, Cam Young, Mitchell, and Lowry. That's what we're talking through here. What do you got?
Yeah, the top range is very cut and dry for me for the most part. I'm not going to play Berger at all. I feel good, too, because I watched a lot of golf the last 2 days. I feel like I know for a lot of who's striking it well and who I like. I'm not playing Berger, and I'm not playing Billy Ho. I know he barely made the cut, and he could grind. He just didn't look too solid to me today. So not going to play those two right away. BK is a guy that I haven't been on for the week long. I'm not going to play a ton of him, but I do think he's going to try to push the pedal a little bit in the morning. He's going to try to throw a number up and get back in there. And if he doesn't, he's okay just punting it off and not really trying much on Sunday. But he's going to try for a minute. And if he can get a little momentum going early, I want like 20% BK or something. But Louis is going to be my guy. I know I was on him and then off him. He looked so good today. And what did he finish at? Even, I think, which is crazy because he was 6 over at one time. Got all the way back to even, I believe. And he's a guy that could make a run. I mean, he looked really good today. He's always been pretty good in the win type environment. So I'm getting back on Louis. He's my favorite in that very top range. And then you get to the next range, definitely not playing Keith Mitchell. I went on a rant about it yesterday. He barely grinded to make the cut. Cam Young, I'm not going to play him either at 9,300. Lowry's going to be my guy. He's my guy for the week long. I didn't play him much today, but I like where he's at. He looked good today. He's a good wind guy. I just feel like he's right for this week, and he might not get all the way to first because, I mean, Berger's got him by 7 shots. But if, kind of like Tambo said starting out, if Berger somehow comes back a little bit, I think Lowry could be a guy. Even at 25-1, I don't think that's great odds, but I think it's decent odds because if Berger comes back, I think he'll have a chance. Not going to play Mito, not going to play Noren at these prices. So the top of my range is super cut and dry. Lowry, Louis, tiny bit of BK. But Louis and Lowry are my 2 main guys.
I'm a little bit heavier. I'm on the same guys as you there for those 3, but I also like Cameron Young. I know he's overpriced. I talk about it all the time, though, paying up for probability. I think that means less ownership. I think everybody's going to say the same thing you said. He wasn't that sharp today, but I liked him coming into the tournament. I know Hoop liked him too quite a bit and has him on some good teams, and he's got the upside on these, there's only limited scoring spots, but I think he can find them, and I'm with you. I don't really want to play Keith Mitchell. The 2 I love the most are Louis and Lowry. We talked about Lowry. We looked the odds up. I just looked up Louis, though, Big T. This would be crazy, but someone in the chat just said they got him earlier in the day at 300. He's still 100-1. No, it's a long way, but I think it's like you
he can win it.
He's a grinder, man. He could do it. And guys like him, even BK is not enough on the odds for me to get after, but I think the 2 of them are just the boom bust plays you got to have because they're both going to go out. Now that they're here, you might as well go out and try and ship it. That seems obvious, but what I'm saying is if it goes bad, like if BK comes out through 9 tomorrow and is 4 over, I can see him just packing it in and saying whatever. He's not going to withdraw. I'm not that guy. I'm saying that it's just not going to be the same guy because you know how he is. Once he's out of it, he doesn't care. And so he's just going to play how he plays and whatever happens, happens. But if he comes out and goes 3 under through 9, he's going to go the whole way. He's going to be absolutely dialed major-esque feeling. And remember, we just talked about the reason why Berger's an odds-on favorite is because of the weakness of the field behind him. Think about when these guys start creeping up the board like a Brooks or a Louis, the field could crumble even more seeing that hit the leaderboard. And for them, they just thrive on that. It's like just picking another dude off and just finding their way up to the top. So I like those guys. Berger, I'm back and forth on. I'll probably still have some Berger. I know we hate just a little bit, but I mean, there's only 5 guys up here I'm playing. And Berger,
I just think Berger's like, man, I think he's a bad play. There's no ways. The good thing you got going, though, that you're probably right, is the course could play very hard and pars could end up being good. But, man.
The thing is, though, is what par? Like the guy has like 10 or 11 birdies already split evenly over 2 days, 1 bogey for the whole tournament. So it's almost like you're locking in pars, but you're getting birdies too. I've bet the over 4 birdies the back-to-back days now using Prize Picks because I've been doing some stuff over there with Mayo, and they're giving like 3.5 or 4 birdies because of how hard the course is, and he's finding them. So again, when someone's playing this good, I won't go off them completely, but I love your calls.
It's
And
just such good leverage to fade because so many people are going to play him. Like BK and Louis just have to be better plays.
What do you think
Showdown.
Burger's ownership is going to be tomorrow on the slate?
I think it'll be like 40 or 50%.
Yeah.
And that's just egregious for a dude that is not. There's so many guys, all of these dudes, because with Burger being up this many strokes, all of these next guys are trying to throw darts. Like there's going to be birdies out there. People are going to go low. I don't know. Like I know people will disagree with this take, so I'm fine with that. Like as everyone knows that's watched my stuff, I'm fine saying some crazy stuff, but I think Burger is just a bad play.
Oh yeah, and at the end of the
day, it helps too that we can leverage though, right? Too, Tambo, because you got him in your core, your good teams. I got him over 50%. So say he somehow does go low, I'm going to be happy for my week-long teams, but I don't know. It's kind of a natural hedge a little bit.
Yeah, Landa's in the chat. Big T's the best. Big T knows all. He's an awful play. So stick with Landa's advice. He's got it all covered here for us. He's right. But I don't think
if he's 40%, what are you going to play 20% Burger for?
Well, if I do play 20% Burger, he'd be my last guy in of these four. I like the four others. I like Koepka, Louis, Cam Young, Lowry. It would just be because when we're going to talk about this, my whole point, I tell people this every week. And what do I know, right? I just play, for the last 5 years, having a pretty good result. I like playing Burger with my guys down low. Like if I nail my core guys that I'm going to be way overweight on at the bottom and I have the money to spend there, I'm going to have it with the core guys, Koepka, Louis, and Lowry. But if my low bottom end guys hit and I didn't play the guy that's playing the best in the field and I've already got huge leverage on them at the bottom and they're low owned, I want to still have them with Burger. So I might even hand build Burger lineups just from a bottom up build of the guys I want at the bottom so that I don't miss out. I'm not doing that with Billy Ho or with Keith Mitchell because I don't like them and I don't think they've been playing their best golf. Burger has been dominating this field so far. And if you think he's going to go on to win it, which is an early call, but the books have it that way already. And I'm not following the books. I like them from day one. I'm saying I still want to play some of that in my lineup. So it's not really just to get a little bit. I'll probably play 20% and do it that way. Let's move on though. Let's go to this 8K range. Another guy you love talking about right here at the top, Mito Pereira. He was having himself a rough first day, but made it through and he's good to go. Norin, bunch of guys that missed. Johnny Vegas, though, your boy Bazudenhout. We've got some bets pending over the weekend there. Mac Hughes, Chris Kirk, and then just you got the numbers in front of you. Go down to like 7,500 or something, and then we'll do 7,500 and down.
Yeah, I'm not going to play the top two guys. I kind of talked about it. Like I would definitely play Cam Young over Mito and Norin. Not much more. Again, we talk about it all the time on these shows. You just have to limit your player pool. So I'm not going to play those two. I do like the next range. Johnny Vegas he hasn't been too good the first 2 days, but he always has the ability to throw a showdown winner up there. I mean, he's a guy that I don't think I'll really ever fade completely in showdown just because he can go low and you just shouldn't fade guys like that. My boy Buzenhosen, he's more of the opposite. I like him week long. So as we do these shows, which I love because I love doing shows with Tambo, super game theory shows, which are my favorite. As we do them, people are going to see like there's a lot of week long guys I like and then showdown guys that I don't play in week long. Buzenhosen's one of the week long non-showdown guys. And again, I'm not a numbers guy, so it could be wrong. I mean, maybe he does go low more times than I realize, but he feels like a safe, solid, steady play to me. I want birdies on Showdown, so I got a ton of him week long. I'm not going to play him in Showdown.
Bazudenhout is Burger for 2,600 cheaper, right?
Yeah,
he's just going to make pars all day, and that's what he does. I think today he had one bogey, and I don't know what it was actually. I think it was like maybe 2 bogeys and the rest all pars. Like it was just he's not making.
I think it might have been just 1 bogey and all pars.
Yeah. Sorry, it was the opposite. I think he only has 2 birdies for the whole 36 holes so far. And so not an ideal showdown play. I like the Vegas call though. I'm on Vegas in the main quite a bit. He was in my core, but I still like him here too.
He can get hot for us. I mean, Chris Kirk, I guess, is the interesting one. He's playing really good. He's got to chase Burger down. At 8K, I'll definitely play some. I made fun of him for the week long on our show. He came in lower owned than we thought. I definitely wouldn't have thought he was a bad play at 12%. Again, it kind of goes back to the point that I get mad at myself when I overthink sometimes, But again, the other week when we talked about whys, it worked for us. This week with Kirk, we kind of overemphasized the ownership and it came in lower. Again, it's a guessing game. It's tournaments. We got to take chances. We were wrong on Kirk, though. At least I was. So I like him in Showdown, though. He's got to make some birdies. But just like week long, this next range is where I really like. Like Palmer can throw a number up there. Russell Knox can throw a number up there. Glover can throw a number up there. I like these guys. Mackenzie Hughes can throw a number up there. All of these guys are good Showdown plays to me. And my favorite guy on the slate, I was going to wait to talk about it. Gary Woodland looks so good to me the last 2 days. He missed a bunch of putts, 7,800. He's my favorite play on the board without a doubt. Like, he looked incredible to me the last 2 days. His score might not show it, but he had a ton of opportunity to score. At 7,800, he's my first core play. So it's a free show. You get a free core play because Gary Woodland's my favorite play.
Okay, yeah, I like some of the names you said for sure. I like Johnny Vegas, who you mentioned at the top. I like Ryan Palmer, again, a guy I liked on the main slate that I'm just sticking with. Nice to see him battle through today and get in there. Glover, I think, can bounce back. I still like my guy Aaron Rye. I talked about him plenty on the show. I know we always have our jokes with him with 2 glove, 2 condom, iron cover Aaron Rye, but same thing at this price. He's down there enough. He grinds it out and he still makes some birdies along the way. Like I say, he literally won the Scottish Open. So, which I keep bringing that up. I know it's 2020, but it's a super strong field, very hard tournament to win. In the wind, linksy, everything that goes with it. Just need a complete game. And he's one of those guys that just I think people are underestimating coming in. I know because Corn Ferry and all that stuff, but he's definitely got the game. You didn't mention him, but what about KH Lee? I don't know if you saw it today. I posted it early. I said killing hopes quickly for his initials and put it there. And then my boy Baroff said KH Legend using his name there and initials. Like he's a guy that bounced back that everyone thought was dead early, myself included, battled back with 3 birdies on the last 4, I think, to sneak in and make the cut. What do you see from him over the weekend or tomorrow is all we care about, but it kind of matters going into the whole weekend.
Yeah, man, I just love this range. I love KH Lee. I'm just looking at this whole range from I don't like booze. I like Vegas at 84, but you get to 8,100. I like Hughes. I like Kirk. I like Palmer. I like Knox, Woodland, Glover. I like KH Lee. I don't even mind Mr. Head Covers, Mr.
Iron
Mr.
covers,
Ray.
man. Iron covers.
I like him in Showdown, though. He's a good guy. I make fun of in jokes, but he's been playing good in Showdown. I like McCarthy if the putter gets hot. Westwood has been playing very good, too. So I literally like this whole range. Again, like people are like, oh, you're just naming everyone. I play less people than basically anyone in the industry almost. So I faded almost the whole top range. I only named 2 guys up there, and this is my range where I'm living in my Showdown. I like all these guys to build my teams, and I don't know. Besides Woodland, I don't have a crazy stand in here. Like I like all these guys. It sounds like a cop out, but
and you're fading Berger, so people got to remember too. It doesn't really matter if you stack up here. You're 60% on your own if he fails because he's going to be 40 to 45% owned. But like I said, again, too, the chat is already confused. Like Harry Brandt, picking someone 45% owned isn't going to ship it. All the time it ships it. You got to get different. You get 5 other spots, man. So you can do whatever you want. Like I said, I'm going to be underweight.
I would throw it out there, too. Like if I played Berger, knowing he's going to be high, I would lock him if I liked him. I would just play. That's what I would do.
I explain it because we're on a show where sometimes people don't always see our content or whatever. But like, I think, again, that's where I love that take actually, right? Like this guy 45% on, you can't win with that. Happens every week. Chalk hits every week and is in the winning lineup, but someone has 20% guys and then 4 guys that are 10% or less. You can still get there. That's
especially in Showdown, right?
And in Showdown, same way, man. People are going to get
there's people 2% own that go 7 under. And
what I'm saying is more that look, I loved Berger going into the week. If you didn't follow our content, I said it earlier. He was in my core. I set him to win. I didn't know what his ownership was going to be at the time. I just said, look, the numbers say it. The maths, his conversation around being healthy is there. I'm rolling with it, and that's what I'm going with. So when he's played this good for 2 days, I got no problem playing him. But I want to play him with all my guys that are low owned down here. I just, a couple you didn't mention that I like, but Garrick Higo. I guess we didn't go into this range. I'll take it this one here, but like Garrick Higo, CT Pan. I like these guys down here. I like going down to Ricky Fowler. Again, I know whatever people will say, but over this tournament, I'm sticking with him. I'm sticking with Seb Straka. another guy that's playing well right now. And no matter how much, because he's sitting right now, 4th or something he's sitting in, I think T6, but it's just his numbers, man. If you look at them, they're so strong, and he'll never be owned enough that I can go here. So Svensson, I like him. I don't know if I'll chase Lee Hodges. I'm just trying to look at some of the other guys here in this range. Hubbard, I'm going back to. Who else in this range, Big T? Just 7K and up. Is there anybody that stands out for you there? I know you're heavier on the upper part of the range, but a lot of good guys here that are playing well right now.
So I think the one big strategy difference between me and Tambo is I don't like the guys up on the leaderboard quite as much as a lot of people do. Tambo's more on the side of what everyone else is with that. Like everyone loves the guys playing good, which I don't disagree. I just, man, like some of these guys that are already up on the leaderboard, like Sepp Straka played so good today, made putts. Like, I just think in golf, we always talk about variance, but man, I have a hard time playing guys when they're like that. I'd rather play like Kitty. This whole range is the guys that are up on the leaderboard playing good. And I think I'm going to fade all of these guys. So I just talked about how I like all the top guys in this range. I do like Higo, though. Higo didn't quite get all the breaks. Matthias Schwab, I mean, looked decent. Not going to play him. But, like, so starting with Sabatini, he was chipping in stuff, had all kinds of things going on. I'm not playing him, not playing Kittyam. I will get on Flower with you, though. The dude just doesn't make any putts anymore. He used to be able to putt.
So this weekend he is making putts. I will note this. So, and I know you don't love that when you finally do hear the stats because you don't even look at them. But what I would say about that is something, again, that's the same thing.
It's almost putts, like I'm worried.
Harry's still going on about it. He's no good because like Berger, because he had 265s. He can't do it again. That's my point. Same as Fowler. People say this all the time. Fowler has been all putting the first 2 days. So that means his ownership will be down because no one will play him. But go look at the birdies that he's made. I think he's got 8 or 9 birdies. We need birdies in Showdown. We don't care about the bogeys. We're not needing him to make a cut for us tomorrow. We need him to score and get us points to win Showdown. That's what people mess up on, and that's what I'm playing. And I love what you brought it up in the previous range, like with Bezudenhout and maybe Kirk or guys like that you mentioned up at the top, Norin, Mito. They're not making birdies. So it's like that matters more to me. And can they? We don't know. We haven't seen any in 36 holes or very few versus I'd rather Fowler that come out tomorrow and go bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie, birdie. Give me that all day in Showdown. I would prefer that because you don't really get crushed on the bogeys and you come out really far ahead with 5.75 points on DraftKings for every birdie. So take that.
You just laid it out perfect. Like it's exactly how you should play Showdown. Like, and the nice part about this field with Berger at 10 under and all of these guys, most of these guys at like 2 under, 1 under, even 1 over, they're literally going to throw at the flag. It's moving day. These guys are going to chase birdies, which is another reason the Flower call. I like the analysis you just gave because it doesn't matter when he gets a double. It doesn't matter when he gets a triple. We want birdies. We want birdies and whatever else comes with it. So I like that. And I just think like the guys at the top, like Straka and Svensson, and I just don't think they take it as crazy because like a top 5 he wants to win. All these guys want to win. But they also they like top 5s, top 10s, and they're going to play a lot safer than the dudes that are 1 under, 1 over, even. They're just going to. It's the way I play. It doesn't mean everyone has to do that, obviously.
I think there's another aspect to it, though, just as my rebuttal for you. But, like, I'm definitely not playing Straka because he's up at T6. I'm playing Straka because I know how good he is, period, and played him for years. And now he's here doing well, and I'm sticking with it. Svensson is one. People always say to me, Tambo, you love Mac Hughes, right? And I talk shit about him all the time. So I know he's the Canadian Jordan Spieth. I like Corey Connors and Adam Svensson. And I know like Hoop likes Nick Taylor. That's another Canadian. Michael Glidgick. I know them all. My favorites are Svensson and Connors. So I'm sticking with the guys. Another one there, not mentioned, but Ian Poulter. He should be firing at pins tomorrow. Like he's way down the board. Like just get after it, come out and find it. And I think that's a bit of a strategy to look at too. You mentioned it already, but just going down the board some, looking at some of these other guys here. Anybody else above 7K, or we can move in and close it out with the 6K range?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at all these names, I really think I'm going to fade everyone from 7K up to whatever that price was, where we like Flower 73. I'm going to play Flower. I'm definitely going to play Poulter, who you just talked about. I'm fading like this whole range though. So I was playing all of the like 7,500 and to 8K. I'm not playing any of these guys basically.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the rest of them there. I was looking at some others. I didn't see much else that I like here. What about Nick? You said you're fading. I was just curious. I have one more guy because we didn't mention him. I just brought him up for a different reason, but Nick Taylor had a really good day today. Shot 5 under.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I just don't like playing some of these dudes when they're playing it good. I almost use the reverse thinking where they're playing so good that I just feel like a bad round has to be coming. I
like looking at like the meta game of it though. Like if you think about Nick Taylor, while I kind of like him actually, is just looking at not because of the numbers, that's great, but did that 5 under to make the cut. Now he's free rolling the weekend. Like think about how good that feels. Like you're like, oh,
what is he at right now? What's his score?
He's right on just made the cut at +2. So like I said, I think a guy like
I didn't realize he was that low. So he shot 5 under to get. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Like for game theory, like for him, he has to think like, shit. Now I got a free paycheck and I can't lose. Like he was supposed to get 0 or likely to get 0, not supposed to, but likely to get $0. Shoots through, makes the weekend, gets in on right on the number on a 5 under day, and now he gets to come out and roll it out there. Another guy, will he be a little bit popular? Sure, but this is where I get so like people in the Discord like, oh, if he's going to be 15%, I can't put like sometimes it's worse numbers, 12%. But if he was 9, I would play him. It's like, no, you're playing him or you ain't. Like just pick us because we're taking stands anyway. So you're going to have 20%. There you go. Like think of it like that. Let's go 6K range though. Let's drop it down here. Again, there's still enough guys to talk about, but who are some that stand? I know yesterday you were loving Sung Yul No. No, never again, maybe. But
yeah, it did not work out. The good thing is I had him on a few of the teams that weren't going to win anyways because I played some other bad dudes, but he did not work out. The good thing with the 6Ks this time is, man, there's some bad dudes down there. Like I can't even play. I like punting a lot in Showdown too, but man, I like the mid-range, the 7Ks so much that I would have to really like a 6K guy, and it's tough. And so we talked about Berger. The second guy that's going to get a ton of attention that I just disagree with is Seifert. We talked about it at the beginning. I got 30% Seifert for the week. He's 2% owned or less than 2% owned. I think he's an awful Showdown play tomorrow. Like awful. He's whatever he finished at. 600. What did he finish at? 6 under, 7 under, 5 under, whatever. 5 under.
Board. Yeah, he shot 4 under on the day, but he's 5 under on the tournament.
5 under.
His stats look really good, right? If you go look at those for today.
His stats look great. He finished third last year too here. All the reasons I liked him for week long. But again, this is where I use ownership in Showdown. He just is guaranteed to be high owned because he's 64 freaking 100. He played good today. He just does so much for the build. And I just don't think he goes out and tries to make a ton of birdies. I don't know. I think he's too high on for me. I'd even rather take, I don't even know what Bill Haas is at. But if you told me Chase Seifert's 30% owned in Showdown tomorrow and Bill Haas is 1%, I'm going to just take a stab on Bill Haas. I'm just going to.
I got a guy for you. He's $100 less, and nobody ever heard of him in their life.
Austin Cook. Who?
No, Callum Tarrant.
Yeah, I'll play him.
So listen, this guy, no one will know who he is, but just last week when Benny Ann shipped the Corn Ferry Tour, Taryn was only he was top 20 last week there. He put up a 61 last week.
Yeah,
we want a guy like this, firing at pins,
writing him down
that can do it. And if you go to round 1, he gained 5 strokes on approach round 1. He had a rough day today, so people won't go back to him. But it's literally going to be, like you said, like 30% to 1. And Landa, to your point, I was dogging you and bugging you earlier in the chat. You brought it up about Berger. We'll let that horse die. But for this one, where I worry more about ownership is right to Big T's point. What he just said there, the $6,400 value guy, it's just like Classic Slate for me with that. There's just too many other guys, too many other dudes down here, and you're getting insane odds. You might actually see, like I said, like Taryn's probably 0.87 or 1%. And you'll see a guy like Seifert tomorrow be 25 to 30. You're telling me they're at that price this time? I don't care where you are, 30 to 1. Nobody's even going to give you that bet. Big T won't give me 30-1 on that.
No,
Pay out of his
I wouldn't
pocket.
even give you like 5-1.
That's my point. So it's
I wouldn't give you 3-1.
Yeah. So for me, I'm all with you there, 100%. Chase Koepka couldn't get the job done. I just noticed that he finished +3. Needed to be.
He was like, I didn't have him much in the week long, so what? But man, how he finished was, whew, that would be a tough one.
Yeah, I'm tempted to play a little. Yeah, you ever play Steven Jagerbaum? Guy put up a 50. I think it was a 59 or a 50 or a 58, and then the same weekend. That was on like the web.com tour at the time. The same weekend, Jimmy Furyk puts up a 59 and his shit just got wiped out across all the golf channels after a huge day because obviously Jim Furyk doing it is a bigger deal. So, but he was number one. I believe this is the case. Number one of the graduates off the Korn Ferry Tour as well. And again, I'm talking to the wrong guy here because you fucking hate Korn Ferry guys, but
I don't mind them when they're 6,500. I mind them when they're 9,500.
That's true. That's true.
I like them when they're 6,500.
Maybe. Who else down here? What's Trey Mullinex?
The best call of the show with this Taryn dude. I'm excited about him. 100 cheaper than Seifert. Build all your favorite Seifert teams and pivot to one of these guys, and you're in good. It doesn't matter who else you play.
Yeah. There's some name value guys down here. We've been playing Poston over at Run Pure Sports.
Yeah, Poston. I don't mind Austin Cook. I don't mind a lot of these guys as far as stabs. The only guy I'm for sure fading is Seifert, but even like Curtis Thompson has shown at times he can get hot. I mean, wasn't it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Eagle out of the fairway, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. He's 6,400. I'll take some stabs with these guys in showdowns. The nice part about these guys is they're literally guaranteed to be 1% owned outside of Seifert. And when they go and shoot 7 under, you have a chance to win a ton of money. It's the reason I love Showdown as you go up too. Bo Hosler's looked pretty good.
I just clicked him. I was about to say, what about Big Bo? He's actually played good over this last little bit. And back to this thought, Pebble just a couple weeks ago was where he was in the mix. I know it didn't pan out for him on Sunday, but funny enough, he played well there. And that's where Berger won just last year at that course. And now Berger's crushing this course and he's coming out. So you kind of can put some of the pieces together. I like him. I like Peter Uihlein a little bit as well at 6,700. And then another Canadian. I'm not sure though. I got to think about this one. Sloan. What's he been doing? Yeah, I like Sloan as well. Not just
what's the numbers. He
at? He's at 6,700.
I think what's his score? Do you know his score?
3 under. Yeah, 3 under. 3 under.
He holed out today too. Like,
yeah, he had a better round 1 than 2, but he's pretty much. I think he's positive strokes everywhere except day 1, a little bit with the putter. So you can pick and choose your spots, but I'm sort of leaning more now that I'm seeing this more towards like where you were at. Like JJ Spawn is down here, so I think I'll just play less of the 6,900 and 7K guys and just flip it down and play these 6K guys instead. It's just another way to get different. And that's why I'm saying, like with my Taryn lineup, if I find the best Taryn lineup and I can fit Berger, I'm going to just play that and then flip and play the other rest of my lineups as is. So I'll get a chance. Because imagine I call Taryn right and he goes off tomorrow and then Berger puts up another 65 and I don't have it when I love him all week. That's why I'm okay playing it, but I understand and appreciate why you're completely off of him. I get it.
What's this Taryn dude at?
Taryn's at 6,300.
No, I mean his score. Oh, he's 1 over.
Yeah, he had a really his numbers were very solid day 1 and then rough in round 2. But anybody that can pop a 61 up, it won't be on this course. Don't get me wrong.
He shot 1 under on the back to finish his day. I like that call. You give me a 1% owned guy on Saturday moving day at +1, like sign me up. Like there's no
remember that last week's 61 is this week's 66 or something that'd be a huge day. I'm saying, but that will be a huge day for your showdown lineups and why I got no problem going somewhere like that. So I think I got my pool pretty much weeded out here. Want to talk about, I know you mentioned the 1 core play with Woodland. You talked about what you're doing strategy wise with Berger being off him and being off Seifert. I think you gave quite a bit away. Is there anything else you want to talk about for this round?
That's why we love Showdown though, right? Like people always say, how am I always like unique with my teams for the most part? And I don't worry about chalk a lot, but man, when I fade Berger and Seifert completely, it really doesn't matter what else I do. I can play anything else, and I don't really have to worry about it. especially when you play one cheap guy. If I fade those two and play one cheap guy, I'm just guaranteed to be unique no matter who else I play. But I mean, my favorite plays for sure are like Usti. I think he looked incredible today, and I think he goes. I could see Usti like back that 100-1 bet is a great freaking bet because say he shoots 6 under tomorrow, gets to 6, and Berger shoots 1 over, finishes 9. Louis will be like 8-1 after Saturday's round after you got him 100-1. Yeah. And he might not even be 8-1 in that situation. 100-1 for Louis is just a freaking great bet. So I like him. I like my favorite play for sure is Woodland, like without a doubt. And I like Westwood too. I kind of rode those guys all week, Woodland and Westwood. They both just look good to me in that price range, 7,800 and 7,500. I want to live in those 7K range that I talked about.
Yeah, I'll take Westwood over Denny. I know you mentioned him earlier, but you're on both. I just like Westwood.
Denny I like the least just because it's all putter. But if the putter gets healthy, if it gets hot.
Harry's making fun of me now. Said I sound like Snyder with Corn Ferry. One thing I will say, it'll come up this season a lot. People forget too. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, if you haven't got over to Run Pure Sports yet, we are crushing golf. It's a place you want to be every week. It's something new. Last week was a bunch. Like Hoop won the 100K in the 555. I got 9th in the Mega. Big T got 3rd in Showdown round 4 for 20K, and then a bunch of members won. But I'm just talking about the content we're doing. But I will say this: it'll come up a lot this year. We've got the players, 4 majors, and then a bunch of other regular season events. But this Corn Ferry graduate setup that we've got this year, and Snyder will love this, but it's so true, is one of the best we've seen in a long time. I know that we've had some other guys, some up-and-comers, but like I just talked about Jaeger, Mito, Ramey, Moore, Pendrith, Sig, Davis Riley, all these guys that came up, Svensson, Paul Barjan, Dylan Wu, like Cameron Young, the list goes on. I'm just telling you that there's just so many good guys. And Big T, the Suggs mojo is not alive and well, but your mojo in the chat, hopping on with Stevie, getting on another show back-to-back. Gotta love that mojo, so that's good.
If the wife's bringing me food, if I can get some food down, then I might hop on with old Stevie. I want to clear it up though with Snyder. I make fun of him about the Corn Ferry. I think Snyder's the best with the Showdown stuff, and I don't totally hate the Corn Ferry guys. Like when we get back to when we get to
Texas,
players, for example, or something
Texas,
like
though, all them Texas tournaments.
And when they're like, I just can't play them when I went on the rant, like when they're the same price as guys like Shane Lowry, I just don't think they're better than him. When they're back down to 6,900 and 7,500 and they're in that cheaper range, I'll be all aboard. These guys are talented. Cam Young is talented. These guys, Mito is talented. These guys are talented guys. Like you got Cam Young 9,300 and Louis Oosthuizen 97, Brooks Koepka 99. I just can't do it. It might be wrong, but I just can't do it. And I get the side point too that people say, well, other people don't want to do it either as much. But it's just a different class of golfer for me. And I just
for that, I think it's different.
You're the one that taught me that too, by the way. Tambo did. Like last year, I listened to Tambo say it every freaking week. I soak in. We got all these good dudes. I soak it in just as much as other people. There was like 4 straight weeks where Tambo's like, I can play these guys that have been proven on tour for 10 years, or I can play this new guy at the same price. And now I feel like I'm the one on the island with it, but I just can't.
I do agree with you more for tomorrow because, more for classic slate, because that's where it's the most prominent. We see it all the time. Like it's a flavor of the week guy at 9K versus a dude that's got 4 majors for 8,900. And it's like, he's been doing his thing. Tomorrow, I like it because it's one round. We just got to get it right and less guys will be on it. But I remember back, it was like the US Open. I don't know if you remember this. We got to get off here, but the guy that shipped it had like 80% Xander and Scheffler while they were in the 6K range before they were even on tour, because in the US Open, dudes get into that field as qualifiers and amateurs and stuff like that. And he had those guys way before. And now you think about where we're at with Xander and Scheffler, 2 of the best golfers in the entire world. And if you can find those guys ahead of time, that's where I'm saying this season, we got to keep a little bit more of an eye. Our guy, Cam's guy, Smotherman, he was in that 25. Like, it's just such a loaded class. And every year you can say this, but I'm talking about what I think we'll see just talent-wise from this year. It is special. So That's it, man. I think we're good. I think we went through it. I got my pool. We'll have everything over on the site. So if you guys haven't got over to Run Pure Sports, hop over there, hit the like button for us. We appreciate it. For myself, for Big T, get us out of here.
That's right.
We got to figure it out.